Hello everyone. So now we're looking at page 12 in your GCSE Biology or Double Award Science Genetics Notes, and that's Unit 2.4b. So page 12, we explained about cystic fibrosis and how it's inherited, and we also had looked at pedigree diagrams, and this question really used both of that information. If we look at the question, both parts of the information together. Okay, so we've got our pedigree, and at the top there it reminds us that big A is the normal allele, small a is the one for cystic fibrosis, and it's recessive. So if we look at the diagram here, straight away we know that the black circles and squares are people with cystic fibrosis, so they all have to have small a, small a. I would actually write that on my question if I was in an exam or a test or homework. So what is the genotype of person 1? Well, that's easy. We've already got it on the diagram. What about person 1's parents? Well, person 1's parents up here, let me see if I just highlight this. There and there. Well, that person, I don't know what happened there. I'll get back to that in a moment here. Okay, person 1 has inherited one little a from that parent and one little a from the other parent. But yet, the key shows us that those people are both unaffected, so they must have a big A to make them normal. So we can be sure that both of the parents are big A, little a. So you either write big A, little a and big A, little a, or you can write both are big A, little a. Okay, you need to make that clear that both of them are big A, little a. Question 3, what is the genotype of person 2? So person 2 is this person here that I'm going to colour in green. Person 2, well, what do we know? We know that their parents are big A, little a, big A, little a. So we know that person 2 has to have one big A because he doesn't have cystic fibrosis. But we don't know whether he's big A, or big A, little a. So let's see. That's what we would say looking at his parents. But if we look at his children, we see that child 3, that I've just circled in green, is little a, little a. So that means that his daughter he has passed on a little a to his daughter. Okay. Because he can't be big A, he has to pass on one of those little a's to his daughter. So we can be sure that genotype of person 2 is big A, little a. Now that's a tricky question. I think a lot of people would have just looked at his parents and not been sure, but you have to look at the whole diagram, all the information that's relevant. So you look at his offspring as well. What is the genotype of person 3's sisters? So we're down here. And if we look at that, we know that both of the sisters are unaffected, so they have a big A. But we've just said that individual 2 is big A, little a. Okay, so they've got the big A from their father, individual 2. Their mother had cystic fibrosis, and so she has to pass on a little a to each of them. So the sisters are both big A, little a, or you could have written that. Okay. Person 4. So we've just worked out that person 4 must be big A, little a. So person 4 decides to marry a man who also has this history of cystic fibrosis in his family. Genetic tests reveal that he is a carrier, so this is the cross that we're talking about here, 2 carriers. So we need to do a Punnett square to show what the possible offspring might be. So there's one carrier and there's the other carrier. And you should have got big A, big A, big A, small A, big A, small a, or small a, big A, and 2 small a's. If we read the next question, sometimes you'd be asked, straight away, what is the probability of having a child with cystic fibrosis? But this comes in question 6. What is this probability of having a child with cystic fibrosis? Well, this child here has cystic fibrosis, all the other 3 don't. So the probability is 1/4 or 75%. If the question had said, what is the ratio of cystic fibrosis sufferers to healthy children, it would be 1:3. But in this case, it's asking for the probability. What dilemma does this couple face? Basically, whether to have children or not. You don't need to say whether they should or they shouldn't. It's their choice. But that is the dilemma. That's the thing they're going to have to talk about, whether to have children or not. Okay, hopefully you got everything right there. If you didn't, leave me a message, send me a private comment just to say which bit you want explained. Okay, bye.